The bottom line. To say we are in a most serious time doesn't seem to quite convey how serious it all is. With pound-pinching politicians going through a frenzy of grab and spend with no end in sight. Spending money at an astronomical level on anything and everything except what it is apparently for, the people. And setting a very grim stage and landscape for the future. Because there seems no logical or valid reasoning being put forward of why insanity, corruption, deception and willful ignorance are running rife in Parliament. With very real consequences for people. Not for them, it would seem. They are apparently untouchable and unaccountable, and they would like us to believe, unaware. But they aren't unaware at all, despite how it may seem. And even though they are part of the pawns in a play for a bigger purpose, it appears their logic is running as a company balance sheet might. Looking at totals, projections, percentages, and ultimately, the bottom line, profits. And that's where the people are still being factored into the picture as a whole, but not as people as you might think in a human way. No, more like assets and liabilities, as you might with livestock on a farm. How much do they cost throughout their life? How much do they make? What use do they have? And so on. With it being about overheads and margins, all very sterile and detached, as we see when it comes to making tough decisions. They are tough to swallow, but I suspect not so tough for them to make. After all, the repercussions or outcome doesn't harm them in any way, it seems, and in fact, often they benefit in some way financially from them. If not at first glance, it turns up somewhere down the line. And that line has been very firmly drawn, and the accord that has been in place to keep society at a functioning level is wearing rather thin. And just as we are viewed as profit and loss, as assets and liabilities, so should they. Because now seems to be the time to pick a future, and that change is coming, and you never know, we might just get to decide what that is.